May you write, please, the answer of from 7 till 15 on the chat box? I know that you solve it, but may you write it again, please? From 7 till 15. Malak, we have solved this as homework. I want you only to write the answer. Okay, I got it from Surgeon Ziad. 7 right, 8 right, 9 right, 10 right, 11 right, 12 right, 13 right, 14 right, 15 right. I got it from Engineer Malak. 7 right, 8 right, 9 wrong, Engineer Malak. 10 wrong, 11 wrong, 12 wrong, 13 wrong, Engineer Malak. 14 wrong, 15 right. Pilot Kareem, waiting for you.
1 second.
If you can find them, I can find it from what you sent, Pilot Kareem.
I'm sending it right now.
Okay. Okay, 7 right, 8 right, 9 right, 10 right, 11 right, 12 right, 13 right, 14 right, 15 right. Okay, let's have a look for the people that they got mistake in. Number 7. As you can find here in number 7, number 1 that we spoke about it before, that keep any tense in the perfect aside. So I'm not going to make X now because maybe we're going to return back to. So I'm going to put aside now, have driven only. So I have now drive in the present, drove in the past, will drive in the future. If you're going to look here, he said, when I went in the past. When I went in the past to Texas for my cousin's wedding. So thank you. I need now in the past. I need now on the past. Maybe someone is going to say, there is here and avoid. Because to see So to see and to avoid. So the answer here, it must be in the past. So we're going to take drove. Second one, again, I'm going to give anything in the perfect aside. So I'm going to give be aside. Now I have would come. This as a modal verb. I have becoming. That is not a verb at all. I have became in the past. So let's find. He said the residents of Colorado celebrated past when their state to first to legalize marijuana or marijuana. This one is a kind of drugs. So here it's in the past. So I need now to take the one in the past. So it's going to be became. Number 9. Now, Malak, concentrate. I'm going to put anything in the perfect aside for the time being. So I'm going to put had prescribed and has prescribed. Now I'm between A and D. If they're not gonna succeed in solving the problem here, so I'm gonna choose whether B or C. As you can find here, once he noticed past the new symptoms, the doctor talk past mark of the medication that he 6 weeks before. So I need now something in the past. If you're gonna look here present, can't. Here also future, we can. So now I'm gonna return back to this one. Which one in the past? So it's clear that it's had prescribed. Number 10. Again, I'm gonna put anything in the perfect aside for
مستر
the time. Yes.
مش المفروض هاد دي مع بنت تقريبا.
لا، ما had دي يا ملك، مش احنا قلنا ان الباست بيرفكت بيتكون من had plus past participle، وان
Yes.
البريزنت بيرفكت بيتكون من has or have plus past participle يا ملك. But we said something اللي احنا نحط دول في الاخر، يعني we're not gonna choose the first thing, we're gonna keep them aside. فهنا الفيرب اصلا prescribed، الباست بتاعه الباست participle prescribed. When I found here in the sentence, I found that we need past. The two things that left can present, prescribes, we can future. I need past. So the only past here is the past perfect. تمام ملك؟
تمام يا مستر.
نعم؟
تمام.
Okay. Number 10. Again, I'm gonna put anything in the perfect aside for the time being. So I'm gonna put would have already drastically changed aside. I'm gonna put had already drastically changed aside. Now I have this in the present changed, and I'm gonna put this aside because has changed. So the only one that is gonna be here is C. The only one is accepted here is C. No perfect N. Let's find it's gonna work or not. Here he said by 99. This is in the past. The internet. Then he said something, the way people around the world communicate. So I need something in the past, Malik. I need something in the past. So let's look at this. This actually changed in the present. So thank you. So now I'm going to look at the other choices and find something in the past. Would have, no, it's not in the past. Had changed, yes, it's in the past. Like number 9. Has is in the present perfect. So it's going to be B. Number 11. Again, I'm going to put anything in the perfect aside for the time being. So I have has expanded and had expanded. Put them aside. I have now expands present and will expand future. Let's start. From its start as an online bookstore, the internet retailer Amazon, okay, into markets such as groceries that many thought past. And also where past, outside its reach. So I need something in the past. So now here, as I told you, future wrong, here present wrong. So which one from these in the past had expanded؟ نفس 9 ونفس 10 يا ملك.
مستر أنا هنا قلت عشان start.
The from its start يعني something indicate about the past. من أول بدايتها. Amazon من أول بدايتها يا ملك. So something in the past. Clear?
clear.
Number 12. Again, I'm going to put anything in the perfect aside for the time being. Okay, here, no. Okay, all of them can be accepted because no perfect here, no has, have, had. So let's find. Here he said, Martin Luther King Jr. fought in the past for racial equality and led in the past the civil rights movement. He, the American people, to stand up for freedom, equality, and justice. Okay, so here past. So I need something in the past. Which one in the past here? I have called and I have called on. Calls, it's in the present, and calls in the present. Now let's decide which one of them is the right now. He called the American people or he called on the American people. According to the idiom, verb plus preposition, it's going to be he called on the American people to stand up. Called on here means that they called them to stand up, to make a kind of revolution, but in a safe side. So called on. Number 13. I'm going to put anything related to the perfect aside. No perfect. Okay, let's read. But take care. Winning is not a verb. Winning is not a verb. Here he said, after what he said, past. It will be hard, future, for him to recover in the polls. Let alone the election. Take care. Also, let here, it can be in the past. So after what he said, so now I have past 2, I have future 1. In number 13, actually, it's so complicated. But the sentence that we need to put in it, actually, it sticks to the one the future, in the future. It sticks to the one in the future. Let here, it's an adjective, okay? Let here, it's in the adjective. So what we're going to say right now, and take care that after what he said, here, let alone won the election. So we need something related to the future, as he mentioned, because it will be hard for him to recover in the polls, let alone the election. So I need something related to the future. Something related to the future. So if you're going to look here, won in the past. No, winning is not a verb. Okay. Now I have when or will win. When or will win. Both of them can be. Both of them can be. He said it will be hard for him to recover in the polls, let alone when or will win the election. It's better here to use the present. It's better here to use the present. So it's going to be win. Win the election. Number 14. I have also have gone, had gone. I'm going to put them aside. Now I have went to go and are going. Actually, now letter A is not going to be accepted at all. When to go. What the meaning of when to go? He can say went or he can say go. So that's fine. By the time we got past a seat at Peter Lager's steakhouse. Most of the waiters home. So I have only passed here. So if I'm going to choose A, as we said, that it's vague, redundant. Are going in the present. Thank you. I need something in the past. So the only thing that it's in the past here is going to be C. The same thing that happened in the beginning. So had gone. And you solved it right, Malik. You solved this wrong. I'm sorry. You right, have gone, Malik. Have is in the present perfect, not the past, Malik. Number 15. Again, I'm going to put anything in the perfect aside. So I'm going to put have experimented aside, have been experimenting aside. Now, I have experiment this in the present, experimented is in the past. So let's find. During the Renaissance, take care, this is in the past. The painters with different style that combined past with new scientific knowledge. So I need something in the past. It's easy. It's going to be experimented here. Surgeon Ziad, Pilot Kareem, Engineer Malak, clear?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now, let's go to the punctuation. And here we're going to talk about the commas, the dashes, and colon. Just I write them by their names, but by their shapes, it's going to be this. Comma, you know, it's shape. Dash is like that. Colon, the two dots over each other. Each one of them has its own function and usage. Let's talk, I forgot to write the semicolon, but it's written here. Let's talk first about the semicolon. Why we use the semicolon? Before we go, actually, the semicolon, we use it to connect two independent clauses. So if I have two independent clauses come after each other, we know that we have to connect them using comma, fanboys, and sometimes I can use semicolon between them. Or I can use fanboys before it comma. Fanboys, fanboys stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Or I can put full stop. So one of these can be accepted. Take care. The three of them, if they come in the choices, means that the three of them are wrong. Why? Because as we said, if we have two independent, you can put semicolon, you can put comma, fanboys, or full stop. Let's return back to the semicolon. Let's return back to the semicolon. This is the first usage because we have another one. So between two independent clauses, we put semicolon. Let's look here. I love the game of basketball. However, I don't play it myself, as you can find. However is not a subordinate conjunction. However is with this sentence. However with transition. So now I have two independent clauses. I have to put between them semicolon. The same thing here. The tribe was left without food for weeks. Did the first independent clause. The second one, the members had no choice but to resort to cannibalism. So another independence. We put semicolon between them. Bats are nocturnal creatures. They come out only during the night. I have two independent clauses between them, semicolon. Let's look at the first example and how it's wrong. The platter, but take care, the independent clause must include subject, verb. Subject, verb. So it's going to be like that. Subject, verb, semicolon, subject, verb. Let's look at this one. Here he said the platter is the subject. Was filled is the verb. With berries, crackers, and cheese. Wait, why you put semicolon here? This is the list. X, comma, Y, comma, and Z. This is not two independent clauses that come after each other. The two independent clauses, it must be like that. Subject, verb, then subject, verb. Here we have only subject, verb. So this is simple. So here the semicolon, it must be comma. The second one, ready for the journey of lifetime. This is not an independent because no subject verb. This is a modifier. This is a modifier. And we know after the modifier, we put comma. So why you put semicolon? The subject verb only is here. Here subject and here verb. Here no subject verb. This is a modifier, adjective. Ready for the journey of a lifetime. It described the boy. So we must put comma, not semicolon. He doesn't mention the second usage for the semicolon. Let me explain it for you here, despite that we explained before. The second one, he told us if we have a list inside list, a list inside the list. What does it mean? Let's talk about that, inshallah, this summer, you are going to visit 3 countries. And those 3 countries, you're going to visit cities inside them, special cities. So I'm going to say, we will visit France, comma, Egypt, comma, and USA. Now did the same like that. X, comma, Y, comma, and Z. What about if I want to mention cities inside the countries? Like I'm gonna say the same sentence but with another way. We will visit Paris in France, then Paris, then France, the city and the country, then the comma, Cairo, then comma, in Egypt. Then comma, then and. Then New York, comma, USA. With teacher. Here, there is a list inside the list. The actual list is France, Egypt, USA. Now it start to be cities inside the country. So what we're going to do, he told us, in this case, it changed the main comma to semicolon. It changed the main comma to semicolon. So Paris, France, as it is, I'm going to change what come after France to semicolon. I'm going to put semicolon here. Then after Egypt, I'm going to put the one with the semicolon. So now we know that the main here is France, Egypt, USA. The other list inside is going to be Paris, Cairo, New York. After that, we're going to talk about the comma. He said here that the comma has many usages. The comma has many usages. Let's start with the first one. We use the comma after introductory clause or phrase or modifier. We spoke about one up. After the modifier, we put comma. And after introductory clause, we put comma. And after a phrase, what's the meaning of introductory clause? Introductory clause, like a dependent clause. How we know the dependent? Take care, the dependent if it starts in the beginning. Like if we have dependent, then independent, independent the comma. If we have independent, then dependent, we don't put anything between them, except that the dependent is not essential. In this case, I'm gonna put comma before the dependent. And how we know it's not essential? If we have which, relative clause, which, whom, whose, like that. Okay, let's return back here. Although he is lactose intolerant. Wait, although here is a subordinate conjunction. That means this is dependent. So we have to put here a comma. Here it's independent. So we put a comma. Let's look at this. Trapped in a mine. Wait, there's a modifier. We just spoke about that up. After the modifier, we have to put a comma. because this modifier modify what come after. So trapped in a mine, the victim found it hard to see and breathe. Let's look at number 5. At the end of the rainbow. Again, it's prepositional phrase. Start the sentence. Any phrase that start the sentence, we put comma after it. So here you put comma. Another example. The same thing. When I turn 16, dependent. When is a subordinate conjunction. I'm going to buy a car. This independent. So we put comma between them. Another one. Because she's been so busy. Again, this dependent. And this independent. I haven't seen her in a month. So put comma between them. This is the first sentence. What the second? The second one, if we have X more than 2 items, Y and Z, we put comma. X, Y, and Z, we put comma. What about if it's Y and Z only, no commas? We need the list to be more than 2, no only 2. Let's look at here. His hobbies including jumping of planes. This X. Crashing helicopters. This Y. And eating jellyfish. This Z. Where is the comma before and? There are 3 items, so we have to put comma. How you know that there are 3 items? Because here he said jumping, parallelism. Here he said crashing, parallelism. Here he said eating, parallelism. Another example. After college, okay, this is a prepositional phrase. He put a comma, so he's right. James had 3 options. Colon. What are the 3 options? Get a job, X. Apply to graduate, Y. Or become a criminal, Z. Where did the comma before or? So he put the comma before it. The third function. Use comma to set non-restrictive or non-essential elements. So if we have an element that is not essential, put comma before it or after it, or if it's in the middle, put before and after. Okay, how I'm gonna know? How I'm gonna know that this kind of element is non-essential? If you delete it, it will not affect the sentence at all. If you delete it, it will not affect the sentence at all. So let's find. Great white sharks, the most fearsome creatures of the sea, are actually less dangerous than they appear. Great white sharks, here I have the subject. Shark is the subject. I need the verb. The verb here is are actually. The verb is are. Don't separate the subject from the verb. Don't separate the subject from the verb, except that there is unessential or essential. Maybe this essential or unessential. How I'm going to know that the most fearsome creature of the sea is essential or not essential? Try to delete it. Let's try to delete it to find out. Do we understand it or not? Great white sharks are actually less dangerous than they appear. I understand it without this one. So that means that this is non-essential or non-restrictive. So put after the subject comma and before the verb comma. Another one. The guy cleaning the room is the janitor. Wait. Here it's important. Let's read it without the one between commas. The guy is the janitor. Okay, who is the guy? I want to know who is here. So because of that, you have to delete the commas. Because of that, he deleted the commas here. Why? Because it's essential. It's essential. Another one. Students who work hard will ace the SAT. Wait. Who work hard is essential. It's not essential here, but try to read the sentence without it. Students will aid the is so important because that he delete the two commas. Another one. Jonathan, who works hard, will ace the SATs. Okay, this now is important. But here he mentioned Jonathan. He didn't say the guy. He mentioned a name. So the name is known. If I said Surgeon Ziad, if I said Pilot Kareem, if I said Engineer Malak, it's known. So like that, who works hard is not important. So we put it between two commas. Another example. Stephen King's first novel, Carrie, was a surprise success. Wait. Carrie is the name of the novel. Carrie is the name of the novel. So it's important to know its name. He actually said Stephen King's first novel. So his first novel that is known. So Carrie now, it's non-essential. We put it between two commas. Another one. The poem, The Road Not Taken, this is now not essential, is one of Robert Frost's most famous works. But we know that Robert is a poem. The one that who write poetry, a poet. So now he has many famous works. So it's better to announce it. So it's better to delete the two commas. Another one. Crowds stood in line to see author. Then here he said J.K. Rowling. But I need to know who the author. I need to know who the author at the bookstore in London. So it's better to delete the two commas. Another example. The man at the front of the line, scientist. But I don't know who is the man. When he said the man, the guy, the student. So we have to keep it without comma. John Wheeler wouldn't stop complaining about the rain. So here it's better to delete the commas. Another example. Runners around the world participate in Boston Marathon, which is 26 miles long. Okay, take care. I told you before, the dependent that start with the relative clause, except that, because that will never come before it a comma. So runners around the world participate in Boston Marathon, which is 26 miles long. Actually, I know the Boston Marathon. Here it's a proper noun, and we know, all of us know it. So it's better to put a comma before which. Why? Because which is 26 miles long. It's non-essential clause. The pass, do you remember I told you what? That will never precede by a comma. The path that we took yesterday is 15 miles long. Wait, that will not precede by a comma. So delete the comma here and there. Next to the Japanese restaurant, this is what, as you can find, next to the Japanese restaurant, I like, is the ice cream. Okay, let's read it without I like. Next to the Japanese restaurant is the ice cream place. Okay, do you like to put I like here? Is because now I'm talking about my point of view. So it's better not to put I like between two commas. As he said here, the I like here, instead of that I like. And instead of that I like, but he delete that. And don't forget that no comma come before it. Lions are carnivores or meat-eating mammals. Okay, wait. We know that carnivores is the same meaning of meat-eating. So it's better to put or meat-eating between two commas because it's not essential. The fourth, usages. Use comma to set off transition or intervening phrases. So if we have, like, however, do you remember the sentence that has however? After however, we put comma. After then, we put comma. So let's look at the example. Animal are nocturnal, a verb For example, the coyote hunts during the night. We have subject and verb. For example, here is a kind of transition that give us exemplification. So it's better to put after, for example, comma. Another one. When I told my parents I was pregnant, this is subordinate, then a comma. They were, to my relief, supportive and understanding. Okay. Here, supportive and understanding, we call it intervening phrases. It's not need, actually, because the sentence end is here. When I told my parents I was pregnant, they were, as you can find, they were supportive and understanding. So to my relief, is intervening. So we put it between two commas because it's not needed. They were supportive and understanding. This one, penguins, unlike most other birds, cannot fly. Okay, is this important? Penguins cannot fly. We know that. So we don't need unlike most other birds. Because of that, we put between two commas. Most bats are blind. Their sense of hearing, however came here, is amazing. If however come at the beginning of the sentence, put comma after it. If it come at the end of the sentence, put comma before it. If it come in the middle of the sentence, put comma before it and after it. So we can say the sentence like that. It's not needed. Most bats are blind. Their sense of hearing is amazing. Now we finished the semicolon. We finished the comma. Now let's go to the colon. The two dots under each other. Actually, the colon has two usages. Two. One of them, what will come after the colon, is going to be explanation. Another one is going to be examples, like the one that we talked about it up. So one of them is going to be explanation. The other one is going to be examples. Let's look. So he said colons are used after independent clause. So don't use colon after dependent. Don't tell me while I was playing, then you put colons. Wrong. It must be used after independent to direct attention to a list or a noun phrase. So it can be a list after the colon, or a noun phrase, or quotation, or another independent clause that provide a summary or clarification. Let's look at the examples. A classic eggs Benedict breakfast should include the following ingredients. What are the ingredients? Now the examples: poached eggs, English muffins, bacon, and Hollandaise sauce. Tokyo is one of the cleanest cities in Asia. Now he's going to give us a clarification, explanation why it's the cleanest. The street cleaners sometimes have no work to do. Cambridge is home of two of the best universities in the world. What are they? MIT and Harvard. I had no choice but to utter the truth in front of the judge. What is the truth? Clarification. It's my brother was guilty. Why you don't put here anything? Why you don't put semicolon? It can be used semicolon. But if we bring comma only, it's going to be wrong. The speaker had a few last words of wisdom for the students. Clarification. Or quotation, I'm sorry. Quotation. Always do what you are afraid to do. So whenever you find quotation after independent, put colon between them. Let's look at the rule. A colon can only come after an independent clause. We know it now. Therefore, all of the following are incorrect, even though they seem like correct use of the colon. The dangerous animals you have to watch out for are to care. Why is this wrong? Because actually here there is a missing that. The dangerous animal that you have or that have to watch out for are. So here it can be, because now this is dependent. So we can put colon after. The evidence consists of, wait, this is not independent. This is not independent. This independent, I'm sorry, this independent, but of is a preposition. And we can't separate of or the preposition from the object of the preposition. So we can put colon after a preposition. The local bakery sells many delicious desserts such as. After such as, we can put colon. After such as, we can put colon. This is wrong. This is wrong. After preposition, this is wrong. Again, this is wrong. Why? Because after the verb, we can put colon. We must bring the object. So after the verb, no colon. After the preposition, no colon. After such as, no colon, because actually such as act as a colon. Now let's go to the dash, and the dash shared with the comma in one of the function. We said that for the comma we put it after non-essential clause, phrase, or words. If they come in the beginning or come at the end, we put it before it. If it comes in the middle, we put before and after it. The dash is the same thing. We put it, if the non-essential phrase or clause or word come in the beginning, we put a dash after it. If it come in the end, we put it before it. If it come in the middle, we put before and after it. But we can't use a dash and a comma. We cannot use a dash and the comma together. So dashes are used to separate interrupting thoughts and phrases from the rest of the sentence, often for dramatic effect. The interrupting thought will typically be a list or a statement or an additional detail, means non-essential. When, now the function of each one, when the interrupting thought is at the end of the sentence, use a single dash before it. So the city is full of people you would never meet in my hometown. Bumps, actors, model, the crazy, and the oddly dressed. Okay, teacher. Why we can't use a comma here? Because like that, we are going to interfere the comma with the list commas, the comma that come in the list. So it's better to use a dash. So like that, what come after the dash is not important. Life is like a puzzle. Half the fun is trying to work it out. There's a kind of explanation that is not important. Life is like a puzzle. We don't need explanation. So there is a dash. There are only two vegetables I will ever eat, eggplant and corn. Explanation, we don't need it. He said there are only two vegetables I will ever eat, so we can stop here. Everywhere we traveled in Cairo, there were vending machines. Some served green tea while others carried on juice. Also, is not important. Take care that the dash will precede the list or a restatement to repeat the statement, but with another way, or the additional detail. So a list or a restatement or additional detail. Okay. We said that. Here he told us, now we're going to mix between the dash and the colon, because the colon also made the same thing. He said, but wait a second. Doesn't the colon do the same thing? Yes. When a single dash is used in this way, it can be swapped out for a colon. Okay, teacher. So like that, in the choices, he's going to bring, if it come at the end, he's going to bring for us a dash or colon. He can't bring both of them together. So here we can use also colon. Here we can use also colon. Here we can use also colon. At the end only. Here we can use also colon. However, a dash can be used in a few more cases than a colon. The dash has more usages than, for example, the dash can be used for a dramatic pause, like in the monologue or dialogue when the actors start to pause. Something you don't use colon for, like here. Frank took the goldfish from the bowl, carried it to the bathroom, put it in the toilet. I'll make a pause now. And dropped it. Here we can't use the colon because he wants to pause to show something that surprised the reader. Cecilia is ready to tell the truth. Or so she says. Again, we can't use colon here. Number 2, for the dash. When the interrupting thought is in the middle of the sentence, use a pair of dash. So the interrupting sentence is going to be here. All our kitchen equipment, from the steel pans used for sauces to the premium grade oven, take care, I put dash before and after. Why? Because here the subject, here the verb. As we said, what between them, whether it's essential or non-essential. Here it's non-essential. Take care, I can replace it by a comma. Here comma, here comma. The Loch Ness Monster, a sea creature that is rumored to exist but has never been found, supposedly comes out only during the winter. Subject, verb, this is not essential. We can also replace it by 2 commas. When my teacher found the cookies I was hiding, all 154 of them, she ate them all herself. As you can find, this is dependent, this independent. This is what is nothing. So we can put dashes here, we can put commas. My cousin was a world-class wrestler. He still is. But now he focuses on coaching others. The same thing, he still is. It's not essential. But here we can put comma. Why? Because the comma is going to be need now a conjunction. Okay. Let's look at the rules for the dashes. How to use them. A pair of dashes is very often, but not always, interchangeable with a pair of comma, as I told you. Not all the time you can replace the comma instead of the 2 dashes. Or a pair of parentheses. So the one that is often is dashes. After all, they are all ways of setting off an unessential phrase in the middle of the sentence. This brings us to the following rules. Let's look at the rules. A sentence should still make sense on its own if the interrupting phrase between the dashes is removed. So if I remove this, I have to read it and it must make sense. The home run ball smashed through and rolled into the living room. Yeah, it make without this kind of interrupting. But just wait. It doesn't make any kind of sense. The home run ball smashed through and rolled into the living room. Through what? So here the pair of dashes is wrong. The pair of dashes is wrong. So like that, we did a mistake. We have to return it back. And as I told you, don't separate the preposition from its object. So the home run ball smashed through the neighbor's window and rolled into the living room. It's essential. Rule 2. A dash can only pair up with another dash, not with a comma. A comma can only pair up with another comma. A parenthesis can only pair up with another parenthesis. Let's look here. All our kitchen equipment, from the steel pans used for sauces to the premium grade oven. Wait, why he put here dash and here comma? Whether you're going to put both dashes or both commas or both parentheses. So also here is wrong. He put one with the parentheses and dash. Wrong. The correct 2 dashes or 2 commas or 2 dashes or 2 parentheses. Okay. Now we have some kind of tricks. Let's have a look at. Maybe he's going to give you a sentence like that. I like to walk every day. Then dash, not for exercise, comma, but for alone time. Wait. We know that this is independent. And this independent. And here there is comma between independent and dependent, comma, fanboys. But you told us that we can put dash with a comma. And we know that this comma is essential. This comma is essential. What we're going to do right now, let's find out. He said, based on what we have learned earlier, your immediate reaction might be that this sentence is wrong because it must be dash and dash or comma and comma. Because the dash and the comma should not be paired up together. Either the comma should be replaced with the dash or the dash should be replaced with the comma. However, that would be an incorrect reading of the sentence. The sentence is not trying to set off not up for the exercise. We don't need to put, only we need to put not on the exercise. How do we know? Rule 1. If it were an interrupting thought like this one, the sentence would still make sense without it. Take care. If you delete it, the sentence will make sense without it. But removing the phrase from the sentence leaves us with like this. I like to walk every day, but for a long time. I'm sorry, this is not independent. I read it wrong. This is not independent. This is not independent. This is a prepositional phrase. So it's going to be like that. I like to walk every day, but for a long time. Here, it would not make sense. Here, it will not make sense. Instead, the entire second half of the sentence, not for exercise, that we deleted, but for a long time, is the interrupting thought. So all of it is interrupting thought. And since it comes at the end, only a single dash is needed. A single dash is needed. Therefore, the original sentence is grammatically correct and should be read as two parts with a dash in between. So it's going to take care that the comma before but, the comma before what? It's a pause. He wants to pause only. It's optional and has nothing to do with the dash. Clear? So it must be written without the dash or anything, because actually not for exercise, but for a long time, it's a kind of non-essential. Let's look at this one. He missed catch. He missed catch was one of the most epic failure. Then comma. There is no other way to describe it. Dash. In sports history. Dash. One we won't be able to forget for a long time. Wait. I have two dashes, so it's right. And I have a comma. The problem that he missed the position of the dash. He must say his missed catch was, this is the subject, the verb, was one of the most epic failure. There is no other way to describe it. As you can find here, this is the non-essential. Because the main sentence is going to be like that. He missed catch, his missed catch was one of the most epic failure in sport history. Then here, one we won't be able to forget for a long time. This is a positive. So that the comma must be here, but the dash must be here. Here the dash, and here the comma. Okay. We have here something called comma punctuation misuses. Some mistake that we did, why we are using the punctuation. I told you, don't use comma or anything between the preposition and the object. He said it here. Don't use punctuation before prepositional phrase. Like a prepositional phrase here, you put after, like in the beginning of the sentence. But if the prepositional phrase here, in the end, don't put comma before it. Or don't put a comma between the preposition and the object. Let's find. He said there is actually exception, but we're going to talk about the exception later. She was waiting at the train station. Wait, like that you make it non-essential. And actually we need it. Waiting at the train station, so don't put comma. The police investigation what? Of the crime scene didn't turn up any clues. Of the crime scene here, it's essential. Because it's talk about the investigation, so you have to delete the two commas. Robert wants to make a change. How semicolon? We said semicolon is going to come between independent clauses or if there is a list inside the list. So do the essay. Again, there is a preposition, so delete the semicolon. Rolex watches are designed. Don't separate the verb from its object or from the preposition phrase that comes. So Rolex watch are designed without colon, with elegance, comma, style, comma, and luxury in mind. X, Y, X, comma, Y, comma, and Z. Andy Murray of Great Britain competed intensely. Again, prepositional phrase. Don't separate it with commas. Here, for the gold medal, don't separate it with commas. The runner was surprised by prepositional phrase. Don't separate it by a dash because it's important. Surprised what? How he was surprised. The second case. Don't use any punctuation after such as, or like, or including. Don't put anything after them. So that the Thai restaurant serve noodle dishes such as, don't put colon. We said that before. When I tried frog legs for the first time, I thought it tasted like, don't put colon after like, because it acts like it. Don't use punctuation before that. We said that, alhamdulillah. We said it. The report indicates, don't use a comma or anything before that. Thank you. طبعا there are exceptions. There are exceptions and we're going to talk about them. Don't put semicolon or dash or colon where commas should be used. The painter lifted up his sleeve, revealing this is a modifier. Come at the end. That it's not essential. So you have to put comma, not semicolon. I know that actually you have headache right now. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's solve this headache by solving from 1 till 7. From 1 till 7, page 27. Start solving, please. I'm going to relax a little. Okay. Surgeon Ziad, 1 right, 2 right, 3 right, 4 right, 5 right, 6 right, 7 right. Perfect, Surgeon Ziad. Waiting for Pilot Kareem and Engineer Malik. Okay, Pilot Kareem. First one right, second wrong, Pilot Kareem. Third wrong. 4 right, 5 wrong, 6 right, 7 right. You have mistakes, Pilot Kareem. Take care. Yes, please, Pilot Kareem. No, Pilot Kareem, still also wrong. Yes, 5 right now. Engineer Malak, we are waiting for you.
مستر لحد 7 صح؟
Yes.
اوكي.
No, 3 still wrong. No problem, Pilot Kareem. You have just to listen to this record again, watch it again, just to make stability for the information. I know that I give you a kind of pile of information, so you have to revise again. We're waiting for you, Engineer Malak. Okay, Malak, number 1 wrong. Number 2 wrong. 3 right. 4 right. 5 wrong. 6 right. 7 wrong. You have also to revise this again, Malak, okay?
مستر هو نمبر 5 كنت متلخبطة فيها.
Stop. I'm going to explain now. I'm going to explain again. Okay, as you can find here, let's find each one and which punctuation we're going to use. If you're going to look at number 1, he said the Rolex Daytona, the most luxurious watch ever released. Okay, I have a comma before and comma after. So that means this is not essential. Sells for a staggering $500,000. So here the subject, here the verb. So now if this not essential, it's going to be right. If it's essential, we have to delete both commas. Both. We have to delete both commas. Because we have a comma. And we can separate the subject from the verb, except that we have non-essential close phrasal words. Can we put dash? We can't put the dash with the comma. So the only answer here is going to be A, that it's right. My brother is a decent tennis player. Okay. He serves well. Take care. The mistakes here in that part, whether it's right or wrong. If I'm going to say here, my brother is a decent tennis player, this is independent. It has subject and verb. He serves well, another independent. So the comma is going to be wrong because independent, we have to put semicolon or comma fanboys or full stop. So this is wrong. And also this is wrong because we can't put a comma with a dash. Okay, and this also wrong because we need to put, as we said, comma fanboys or semicolon or full stop. So the only answer that is right is this one. That means he serves well. It's not essential, unessential. I just solved it with elimination, with an easy way. I practice scales on the piano every day. Not because I want to, but because I have to. We look at this example before. I have a dash and a colon. As we said before, that here doesn't mean that not because I want to is not essential. Actually, from not because I want to till but because I have to, all of this is not essential. All of this. So the comma conjunction here is right. So the answer is A. We said that up. So the sentence actually is going to be, I practice scales on the piano every day. Done. Not because I want to, but because I have to. This is non-essential. All of it non-essential. So separated by a comma, and then, I'm sorry, by a dash, and this comma for but. Number 4. As the country becomes increasingly health conscious, fast food chains, there's a kind of, we call it coordinate adjective, come with a comma between them instead of and, are removing a number of artificial ingredients from their, from their offerings. Then he put colon. So he said sodium nitrate, aluminum silicate, cantharidin, and monosodium, and glutamate. Wait, these are the examples of offerings? These are the examples of offerings? Let's make it with elimination. Semicolon, it can't be. Because we don't need a comma here. As you're going to tell me that there's a list, so list inside the list. No, no, no. Can we leave it alone? No. Can we put comma only? As I told you, no. Wrong. So the only thing that's going to work, that this is a list. Examples of the offerings. Number 5. Google search engine is not only effective, but also easy to use. Then he put a comma. The home page is nothing more than a search field. Wait. Here I have subject verb, and here I have subject verb. So this independent and this independent. Put a comma alone is wrong. Can be this a kind of free explain? Yes. He said Google search engine is not only effective but also easy to use. How? The homepage is nothing more than a search field. It can be a colon. Can we leave it without anything? No, we can't, because they are two independent clauses. It's going to be run on. Okay, what about this? Google search engine is not only effective but used easily. No. Because but here is a conjunction. So what come before, come after. Here an adjective, here an adjective. So this is going to be wrong. So B is going to be right. Number 6. These strange rainbow lights. Where is the verb? Where is the verb? The verb here. Remain. So here the subject, here the verb. After the subject, there is comma. So before the verb, it must be a comma. So like that, a phenomenon only recently discovered in photographs of the town is going to be non-essential. Or you have to delete this comma. So it's going to be essential. Let's find this. This is wrong, as we said, because there is another comma here, or you delete the comma from here. Okay, here he delete the comma, but he put comma here. Also wrong. Here put a comma and put a comma and discovered. No, the must be before the verb. So this is wrong. He put after the subject comma and before the verb comma. So D is the right answer. Number 7. The handbook lays out the most common mistake when it comes this independent, this dependent when it comes to writing. Then he said lack of structure, having nothing to say, and repetitiveness. Okay, there's a list. So we know that the list is going to be colon. We can't use C because to writing what? We can't use comma or semicolon. So the answer is going to be D, a list. But teacher, you told us that after the dependent, we can put a colon. I told you there are exceptions. There are exceptions. Okay. Our homework is going to be a big one. Okay, here. It's going to be from 8. Before solving the homework, please try to watch the record again. So from 8 till 21. Clear?